Welcome back to Myth, Legends, and Truth. And today we're gonna go live. We're live, Ari.
We're live.
Live. It's the first time we go live. And what are we gonna do today?
So today we're gonna talk about we're gonna read stories and talk about my favorite book growing up.
Which is
So scary stories to tell in the dark.
amazing book. An amazing book.
Yeah.
I've read a couple of stories, not the whole book. I always have a low, small attention span, so I only read maybe 2 or 3 of the stories.
Oh,
Pretty
I
much it.
read them over and over again as a kid.
Early.
I think the first one probably came out in the early 80s.
Late 90s? Early 90s, I thought. No?
No.
I could be wrong.
No.
Okay.
In the 80s, around there. And they had a part one, they had book one, and they had part two as well. And I read both of them. And then they took it and turned it into a movie.
Cool. So we want to welcome you guys into our home. This is the first time you guys, the second time actually, live to see our office. This is my section of the office. You see my Marine Corps Mama Luke sword, some of my medals, a cool little frame that Ari got me a little while ago. Here's the other one, second favorite one. And then this over here is a 3D machine. What is this? 3D machine?
It's a 3D printer. It's a 3D printer that belongs to our kids.
Right. So
and
that's
so
all we got.
All kinds of stuff.
Right.
Using that.
And besides that, it's what we do. So
I have an eyelash in my eye.
You got eyelash in your eye. That's what happens when you go live. Anyway, whenever you're ready, let's start reading the first story.
Okay. So we're not reading them all in order.
Nope.
I believe this one is from the first book.
Okay.
So I'll read it to Bart. Like he said, he read a couple of stories. He hasn't read all of them. So I don't. You said you know this story.
I know this one.
Okay.
So you guys know I'm ADD / very hyper / can't stay still. A lot of crazy shit happening here.
So he's gonna interrupt me a lot.
Yes, that's a must. All right. 20 plus years married, 2 wonderful kids, and now it's time to shut up and go. Go.
So we have the books which we bought for our kids.
Right.
Floating around here somewhere. We couldn't find them, but we found the next best thing, which was a site developed by fans that has, the stories, some of them. Okay, so this one today is called Cold as Clay.
Cold as Clay.
So what they have here on their site, according, just for a little background of the story, it's from, the book Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. And it tells the story of a man who seems to be alive even after being confirmed dead.
Mm-hmm.
But the story was actually a retelling from an old folk song called The Suffolk Miracle.
Don't know. Yeah.
So I thought that's interesting. Okay. So here we go. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm going to try to pay attention as best as I can. Go.
Okay. A farmer had a daughter for whom he cared more than anything on earth.
Okay.
She fell in love with a farmhand named Jim, but the farmer did not think Jim was good enough for his daughter.
Happens so often.
Classic story.
Happens so often. Yep.
To keep them apart, he sent her to live with her uncle on the other side of the country.
Okay.
Completely separated them. Oh, not country, sorry. County.
The county. Okay. Not the country.
So it's still pretty close, but not far. Pretty far, but somewhere in between.
County.
Okay. Soon after she left, Jim got sick and he wasted away and died.
Shit.
Everyone said he died of a broken heart.
Pause. By the way, nobody dies from a broken heart. That's bullshit. Go.
People actually do die.
From a broken heart?
Well, yeah, they become depressed. They stop eating. They failure to thrive. That's what it's called.
There you go.
That's
I stand corrected.
Not necessarily from the blood, but whatever. Not eating and not sleeping and things like that. Okay. The farmer felt so guilty about Jim's death. Mm-hmm. He could not tell his daughter what had happened.
Okay.
She continued to think about Jim and the life they might have had together. One night, many weeks later, there was a knock on her uncle's door. When the girl opened the door, Jim was standing there.
So now I'm assuming that the dad sent the daughter to go live with the uncle across the county, and that's the door that Jim went to go knock at, right?
Yeah, the uncle's door.
The uncle. Okay, the uncle. Okay.
Your father asked me to get you, he said. I came on his best horse. Is there anything wrong? She asked. I don't know, he said. She packed a few things and they left. She rode behind him, clinging to his waist. Soon he complained of a headache. It aches something terrible, he told her. She put her hand on his forehead. Why, you are as cold as clay, she said.
Oh, it's hell.
I hope you are not ill. And she wrapped her handkerchief around his head.
Jim is dead.
They traveled so swiftly that in a few hours they reached the farm. The girl quickly dismounted and knocked on the door. Her father was startled to see her. Didn't you send for me? She asked. No, I didn't, he said. She turned to Jim, but he was gone, and so was the horse. They went to the stable to look for them. The horse was there. It was covered with sweat and trembling with fear, but there was no sign of Jim. Terrified, her father told the truth about Jim's death. Then quickly he went to see Jim's parents. He decided to open his grave, or they decided to open his grave. The corpse was still in its coffin, but around its head, they found the girl's handkerchief.
Wow. That was a good one. What do you think about that one?
I like it. So what I liked about these were that they were short and sweet, perfect for the attention span of
this guy
and me, young kids. But also, reading it out loud to someone else, I don't really do it justice.
No, you do.
You
got that the teacher voice when you were reading. You know how a teacher reads. That's exactly what
I don't know. It's not enough. But what the big thing about these books, and the big thing for me also about the stories was, okay, so I'm a kid.
Okay.
These were the kind of books that were interesting to me. These were the kind of books that I would go into my room and read whenever my parents were like, okay, go ahead and read. Reading time or read before bedtime or whatever. These were the kind of things that I would do. And so little kid, bedroom by myself, evening time. And not just that is the imagination of a kid, right? You're reading this and you're also like imagining it. You can picture them in your head.
Right.
When you use your imagination along with reading, that's like the important part. That's what gets you.
When that scary story so dark or whatever, I thought it was gonna have more killing, more gore.
No, short and sweet, creepy stories.
Doesn't do it for me. I always thought they're gonna kill somebody, gonna slice somebody's head open.
Well, they do in some, but not to that extent, not to that gore. And one thing that I've realized is that horror is, I don't know, horror subjective.
A lot of suspense into it.
Well,
it's not just
subjective.
Killing.
Not what I think is scary is probably not what you think is scary. Or what the type of scary stories that I enjoy or scary movies that I enjoy are not the same ones that you like. Like you like the gory stuff like Saw and like those mutilation, serial killers and stuff like that. I like paranormal stuff. I like ghost stories. I like stories about religion and exorcisms and stuff. That's scary to me.
Yeah, I think your scary movie that you've ever seen was The Exorcism, right?
The Exorcist.
The Exorcist, yeah. Scary shit, man. I remember.
So I like stories like these because, like that one, there's a little paranormal touch to it. The girl thought her lover was alive, but he wasn't. And,
Cool. What's the next story we're going to go?
Okay. Let's see.
We have to do the middle of 3 stories, I hope. And I hope you guys love it.
So I'll give you some choices.
Okay, go.
Old Woman, All Skin and Bones, The Haunted House,
Mm-hmm.
or The Dead Man's Brains.
The Dead Man's Brains, whatever the heck that is.
I'm gonna go with that.
Let's go.
Because it's brains, so you figure you're gonna chop somebody's head off or something. Which I don't think that's the case with this one.
Okay. All right, I'm ready. So this is such a short.
They are short. That's what I like about them. They were short, so I got through the book so quickly, and I read it so many times over.
Anyway, the other one, quick review, was really good. Suspense, better than what I thought.
Yeah.
Actually, better than I remember.
And if I recall, I think they also had, like, I don't know if it was in the part 2 or part 1. It's like, okay, you're reading this to your friends, and it gives you like little ideas. Okay, now you shout, or now you jump out at them to try to scare them or something. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
The name?
So this one is called The Dead Man's Brains.
That's the brain.
Okay. This scary story is a scary game that people play on Halloween, but it can be played whenever the spirits move you. The players sit in a circle in a darkened room and listen to the storyteller describe the rotting remains of a corpse. Each part is passed around for them to feel. In one version, a player is out if he or she scream or gasp in fright. Okay. So basically, we've done this before, like, around Halloween and stuff.
Okay.
Especially in my school, which is funny. So, for example, good stories for around Halloween. A box, that you can't see, like you put, maybe like that plastic tablecloth or something where you can slip your hand through the hole, but you can't see what's inside the box.
I hate those things.
Okay, yeah. So, spaghetti, so it could feel like worms. You peel grapes and it feels like eyeballs.
I'm not doing that. Slim as this shit.
Rubber, whatever, fake roaches, stuff like that.
I'm not
okay,
doing that.
So that's what this story is about. So essentially, you're with your friends. You set up all this stuff, that goes along with the story. The room is dark. You're telling the story and you're passing these things around so they can feel it. And, whoever gets scared first is out.
Okay, go.
Okay, so the story is, once in this town, there lived a man named Brown. It was years ago.
I'm sorry, brown like the color brown?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was years ago on this night that he was murdered out of spite. We have here his remains. So you're passing them around. First, let's feel his brains.
Oh, shit.
Okay. So the brains are a squishy tomato. So you kind of peel it, peel the skin off, have it there a little squishy. That's his brains. Now here are his eyes, still frozen with surprise. So you put 2 peeled grapes that they can feel. They feel like eyeballs. This is his nose. So you put a chicken bone.
Oh, okay.
Here is his ear. You put a dried apricot. And here is his hand, rotting flesh and bone. You want to put a cloth or rubber glove filled with mud or ice. And his heart still beats now and then. So you want to put, this is gross. You want to put a piece of raw liver.
Oh my God.
What a way to give all these kids some salmonella.
Yeah.
And his blood still flows. Dip your fingers in it. It's nice and warm. So you want to put a bowl of ketchup.
Warm ketchup.
Thinned with water, with warm water. And there it is. All except for these worms. So they are the ones that ate the rest of him. A handful of cooked spaghetti noodles. So I could imagine, this will be something that like our 12-year-old would love.
Oh, yeah.
10, 11, 12-year-olds sitting around with his friends, telling the story, passing all this stuff around.
He would definitely love something like this.
So all of you that have, kids or those that are, young, but have young siblings.
Young at heart.
This is a good fun thing that you can do around Halloween.
Yeah, not just that, but also you could do something like this and turn into, I don't know, maybe Halloween party adult version, and not adult version go crazy, but an adult version where we could do all the cool things and stuff like that. It's a pretty cool game. I like it. I'm gonna definitely get into that one. So the next one we're gonna do is
The Girl Who Stood on a Grave.
What sounds scary? This is the last story we're gonna get into. And I don't know. What do you guys think? Have you guys played that game, the one we just described from the book? And this one, did you ever read this one?
I read all of the stories.
She read all of them
so many times.
Okay, good. Go.
Okay, so here's the story: The Girl Who Stood on a Grave. Some boys and girls were at a party one night. There was a graveyard down the street, and they were talking about how scary it was. Don't ever stand on a grave after dark, one of the boys said. The person inside will grab you. He'll pull you under.
Pause. Instantly, I would have gotten done it when I was younger. But now that I'm older, got some common sense, I would do the opposite. Yeah. Okay, got it.
Okay. That's not true, one of the girls said. It's just a superstition. I'll give you $1 if you stand on a grave, said the boy. Now, I know you would have said yes before the dollar, but had you held out, you would have definitely said yes for the $1. A grave doesn't scare me, said the girl. I'll do it right now.
Brave little girl.
The boy handed her his knife. Stick this knife in one of the graves, he said. Then we'll know that you were there. All right. So they didn't even stand around to watch. They just wanted to see the evidence. Okay. The graveyard was filled with shadows and was as quiet as death.
Oof.
There is nothing to be scared of, the girl told herself. But she was scared anyway.
Hell yeah.
She picked out a grave and stood on it. Then quickly she bent over and plunged the knife into the soil and started to leave. But she couldn't get away. Something was holding her back.
Oh, shit.
She tried a second time to leave, but she couldn't move.
Oh.
She was filled with terror. Something has got me, she screamed, and she fell to the ground.
Doom.
When she didn't come back, the others went to look for her. They found her body sprawled across the grave. Without realizing it, she had plunged the knife through her skirt and had pinned it to the ground.
Where did she stuck her knife at?
On her skirt. So she bent down to put the knife in the ground, and she accidentally
threw the skirt. Okay, I get it. Okay.
Threw the skirt and pinned herself to the ground. It was only the knife that held her. She had died of fright.
That was a good one.
So, like, how?
That was a good one. I think that was a good one. That was better than the other one, too.
I feel like that's more, like a true story.
Yeah.
That maybe got passed down.
That was a good one. So these stories, scary stories are the dark. They're not the scariest, but they really have a lot of suspense.
They're like I said, they're short and sweet, and the biggest part is when you're reading it, where you're reading it, if you're by yourself, and just using your imagination. Like, obviously, we're desensitized to this, but reading it as a 10-year-old, 11-year-old,
I'd be scared shitless.
I was probably like 8. Somewhere between 8 and 10 years old when I was reading these stories.
Yeah, but the truth is, you're not normal when it comes to these stories. You've been reading these things your whole life, and you're not scared of anything. You're so brave.
Well, and this was like the first, kind of exposure to like all the supernatural and scary stuff. I was, always a fan of, Halloween and all that. So this was like the stories that I started off with, and it was perfect, for an 8, 9, 10-year old or whatever I was at the time.
Yeah.
That, my parents didn't necessarily expose me to all these scary stories or anything, or these scary movies, I mean. So reading the stories, being by myself, using my imagination, it was like the perfect amount of scare for me at the time.
Yeah, for me, it was more of not reading because I hate to read, as you
Mm-hmm.
know. It was more of my mother telling me stories of La Llorona.
Oh yeah, I always got the stories of El Cuco. El Cuco's gonna come and get you if you misbehave.
Yeah, La Llorona, the mystical monster of El Cuco.
The deer lady.
The deer lady.
Your version of the deer lady.
Exactly. Or what was another one that always got me? The Acamana when I was younger. El Duende was another one that always got that. I didn't want to leave out. They didn't want to leave the house when they told me the story about El Duende.
But this story of being in the cemetery actually reminded me of one time when we were walking. We were in New York. I don't know what we were doing around there. I think we might have been coming back from work. That we, when we worked in Yonkers, that we would take the train to that bus stop and then take the bus to, around Meshuggah Parkway. What's that cemetery that's there in the corner? Is it Park?
It's Meshuggah Parkway Cemetery.
Is Meshuggah Parkway?
I think it's Meshuggah Parkway Cemetery.
Or it's definitely not St. Raymond's.
No, it's not St. Raymond's.
Well, anyway, the cemetery that was there in the corner, which there was a golf course
across from it.
Right? It had a large, tall brick, fence wall, whatever, separating, the cemetery from the sidewalk. And it was tall enough that I remember I couldn't see over it unless you're trying to jump or climb.
No, but you can see everything when you're at the train station. Yeah, you're right.
Once you get, so as when you're walking next to it, you couldn't really see, over that. But I remember us walking, and we were right there. And then I don't know if you remember this or not, but I heard a scream coming from the cemetery, and it was at night. So that was definitely creepy, whether it was a supernatural thing or whether it was somebody in there that was screaming. It was I
remember you telling me that you heard a scream. I didn't hear it.
How did you not hear? You were literally with me.
You told me you heard a scream at that time. We were what, 19-year-olds, something like that? 19, 20-year-olds? But anyway, we used to go to that cemetery. We used to go to that cemetery.
You went inside?
All the time. Yep, we used to go there.
Never went inside
all the time. Halloween. We used to climb the fence, and we used to go there all the time. Just to mess around. I don't know why. We used to go, me and my friends, and it was fun. It was fun. But, thank you guys for watching. Anything else you want to say? Oh, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And definitely in your comment section, let us know what you would like, what topic you would like for us to tackle next.
Yeah, we have a lot of stuff in our channel. Our channel it's all over the place in an organized way. We have so many cool things there, and I hope you guys are liking all the content that we're releasing. Now that this is the first time we've gone live, we're definitely going to do more of it. I'm definitely going to do more of it during the daytime because I'm always home. So I'm going to be going live more often. But check our channel out if you like it. Tell your friends about it. Hit the subscribe button. And we're trying to grow to 1,000 followers by December 31st. So let me look at the statistic here. Currently, we have about what? Let me see. We have, let me get out of this thing here. Sorry. We have 788 subscribers, so we're trying to get to 1,000 by December 31st. Hopefully we'll make it. Tell your friends about our channel. Hopefully.
And also comment about, the content, the way it's presented. Do you like it when we have pictures and scary noises going on in the background? Do you like actually seeing us telling some of the stories? Do you like the combination of both? And we can continue doing some of these and some of the other ones.
This is something that happened in the last minute. We just thought about doing some stories, releasing it, And we came to my side of the office here, and we decided just to press play, go live, and have fun. And but if you guys want the background of the whole thing, we can definitely do all that kind of fun stuff.
I like the background.
We're gonna do the background, man. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. Catch you guys in the next one. Go back into a channel, and I'm pretty sure there's something for everyone there. Peace.